Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, coming to you live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we do every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our intro music is provided from the Podshow PodSafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com. Also, feel free to email your topics for discussion, suggestions, and comments to incoherentramblings@live.com. Here we are, April the 16th, 2009. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing great, Chris, and yourself?
I'm doing fine. This is the Incoherent Ramblings of C&E at the internationally famous C&E Studios. If you would like to contact us, Eric has a number for you.
We can be reached at 646-716-6928.
Yes, and you can go to blogtalkradio.com/Incoherent Ramblings, and there you can find everything you want to find about the show.
Yes.
Upcoming shows, previous shows where you can listen to them streamed, MySpace, Twitter, and Facebook. Facebook and MySpace, you can listen to it streamed, and go to iTunes.
iTunes.
Yes.
Marcus has subscribed to it.
Yes, please.
And you'll get your automatic updates. Or you can go to blogtalkradio.com and they can chat with us that way.
Absolutely. They can go there.
Or listen to it.
They can listen to it. They can listen to it live. They can even do click to talk and call into the show via the internet. We will provide for them a free VoIP service. So you don't even have to call the guest calling number if you don't have, like, say, long distance on your cell phone. You could just call via the VoIP service. Or you, as Eric mentioned, go into our chat session that we have open every time.
And we've had listeners send us stories and recommendations.
Live. Like, actually in progress.
Indeed.
So, many different ways. And also email us.
So if you have a story in progress.
Yes.
Breaking news.
Breaking news, if you're a hero and you are in the midst of, solving a murder.
Steppenwolf.
We really want to talk to this guy.
We do. He is in retirement.
But he needs to come. I wonder if is he an older gentleman?
We don't know.
Because if he's young, I think what?
His secret identity.
Yes. I think it's time for him to step out of retirement. Because these days and times could use a good hero. Yes. So anyhow, incoherentramblings@live.com. Our current email address that may be changing in the future with the addition of possibly a new web page. We don't know. We're contemplating that. But for right now, you can email us there, and you could send us stories, suggestions, maybe a topic you would like for us to cover. You may be actually crazy enough to want to hear our opinion on the topic.
Yes.
And if you are, and not to say you're crazy, but if you do want to hear our opinion on it, like we were pitched the gun idea, and that's why we had a show on guns.
Yes.
And we're actually going to pursue that again
we also pitched that idea that Dr.
William.
Dr. William.
Yeah. Well, and he has done.
Oh,
and
really?
He will be coming, if I'm not mistaken, next week will be the 23rd. He is going to double check his calendar, and we believe he is going to be joining us next week, April 23rd, for an update on Box C. I'm glad you brought that up, because I forgot. We actually talked about that yesterday.
Sweet.
He is done. He has the Apple TV, and he has the Xbox, an older Xbox, and he has the Box C running on it. And I don't remember. I think he has it up and running for his own use on the Apple TV, and he's really, really pleased with it. It just basically is. It goes out and just grabs stuff for him. From the internet, from YouTube, from Halo. Not Halo.
I just make up things.
Yeah. From Hulu. From Amazon, from wherever. It just goes out and gets stuff, and it basically becomes, unless you need the premium channels, and unless you need to watch it as it airs live, it pretty much replaces most of cable and satellite.
Wow.
Except for live, sports and other airings. Other than that, You can go out and
get
get
it commercial free and all that kind of stuff.
Well, with Hulu, I haven't used many of the other services, but with Hulu, they do say an hour show will be like 45 minutes, 46 minutes. So there is a short little clip, like at the beginning, and then maybe 2 or 3 through the middle, but they're like 20, 30 seconds.
I see.
Like a Ford commercial or GE or something like that.
Right.
But usually it's just the beginning and the end is the bulk of the advertisements, and it's pretty much uninterrupted. Or it may have like something scrolling at the bottom for 20 seconds, uninterrupting the show.
I follow you.
So yeah, but still, it's an excellent product. It's free. If you're tech savvy,
software and everyth's free.
Yeah, everything's free. Well, you have to get your own hardware, either an Apple TV, but an older Xbox, like the first generation. Mm-hmm. This is why Dr. William was looking
Apple
into
TV
this.
is.
Apple TV is it's Apple's. It's a piece of hardware. It's a piece of hardware that you plug in, and it's something kind of like iTunes, but it's hardware based, and it's for TV and movie. So you can hook it up to your TV, high def, plug it in HDMI, and you can go in and scroll like you do on iTunes and say, I want to listen to, Bob Dylan's album. You go, I want to go watch, NCIS.
Well, how much is that piece?
The hardware, I don't know. It used to be, I believe, $199. What it is right now, I'm not sure off the top of my head. But he found one used. And I believe he got his. It was the first generation, and they're into their second or third generation now. So he got his used for a much reduced price. Same way with an Xbox. Let's say you didn't have one. I think you'd pick one up for like $25.
And did you have to have the Xbox to do this, or could you do it on any PC that you were?
My understanding is you could do it on any PC. It's just that with the there's a format that is made specifically for Xbox to run on. Because basically people were going out and getting the Xbox 360, the new ones, and they're like, but this old Xbox, I don't want to just throw it away. Right. So they came up with a version to run on top of it. So if you didn't have a PC you want to dedicate to this, you could go find a used one for $25. Put the software on there. There's a modification you have to do with like a soldering iron and a chip, but it's easy. As long as you've ever done anything like that, you could figure it out. And then you put the software on, and then it just needs a connection to the internet, and you're good.
Connection to the internet and that iTV or Apple TV thing you were talking about.
No, if you have the Xbox, you just need the connection to the internet and put the box C on the Xbox.
Oh, so you don't have to have that.
No, the Apple TV is just another piece of hardware you could use instead of the Xbox.
Which one was he using?
He's using the Apple TV. He wanted the Apple TV because he wanted to be able to use the features available from Apple for the Apple TV, as well as this box C software, which is free.
I follow you.
So it was going to be a bigger offering for him.
Oh, I'll look into that. Well, I'll look forward to next week.
Yes. So
Apple TV. I'm going to look into that in the meantime, just so I can.
Well, like a mutual friend of ours, Todd.
Yes.
He has Voodoo. Well, think of it as Voodoo, but not as good. And then that's not a slam on Apple. I'm just saying Voodoo pretty much.
Well, the interface for Voodoo is unmatched by anybody.
Exactly. And most people feel that Voodoo owns that market. So it's kind of like Apple's version of Voodoo. Not as much as available, obviously, and not as much as available in high def.
But are you saying that most network TV shows are available through it?
Quite a few. And if it's not through Apple, I'm sure you could still go out to Hulu or whatever and get most of them. You could pretty much watch everything, yeah, and a lot of different movies. But also Netflix has one. They have Roku makes their player, the Netflix player, which is kind of like Voodoo, but just not as good. There's 2 or 3 others. I can't remember them now. They're not major players.
But with Voodoo, you have to rent to watch or buy.
Right.
But with iTV,
right,
or Apple TV, I should say. I'm sorry. Then you don't have to pay anything extra, right, for a month, or when you rent to watch or anything? I'm
ignorant on that, and I can't answer it. There are certain things you can use it that are going to be free, but if it's a movie, you're either going to have to rent or buy.
Well, Voodoo is strictly movies.
Voodoo is only movie. Right. Apple TV is television, and then anything available to their service, like their iTunes, that's available to watch movie or TV watch.
I'm looking forward to that. I was looking for ways to eliminate more monthly expenses.
Exactly.
If I can get rid of cable or satellite.
Right. I personally don't have any premium channels.
I don't either.
So it's not important to me. The only thing that it would not provide to me would be real-time sports. That's it. Other than that, every single thing else that I watch, I'm pretty sure I could get from Hulu or from some other source for free.
That is true. I never thought about it. Can't you get high-def antennas for local
You
TV?
can, but then you don't have a DVR.
And that's what I'll miss my TiVo forever.
Yeah,
I want to have to get rid. My TiVo is based on my direct TV,
right.
And I'm getting ready to get away from that.
Right.
So just because I want to get rid of the bill.
Did you have a lifetime membership of TiVo? Because see, I did. So another friend of ours, David, says that I should be able to go out and pick up my TiVo service right now because it was lifetime.
Right.
So I should be able to buy the TiVo and not have to pay the $13 a month.
Right.
If so, I would be more apt to consider it.
When I first bought mine, I had the option to pay $200 for a lifetime. I don't know if that price has changed since then.
I don't think they offer the lifetime anymore. No. Or maybe they do again, but it's definitely more than $200.
I didn't do it because I wasn't sure. It was a brand new company then. It had been out like 6 months. I didn't know if they were going to be around forever. So.
Well, when I did the
math, in hindsight, I probably should have as long as I've kept it.
Yeah.
But I don't pay $13 a month. I only pay $5 a month.
Right, because you were grandfathered in the original rate. I think it's $12.95 a month now.
Wow.
And the biggest complaint with the TiVo interface is the speed. That's the biggest complaint. People sometimes it can be a little sluggish, but I'm gonna tell you what, it's better than any other interface I've ever seen.
And the people who make the interface for Voodoo were the people who designed the interface for TiVo.
Oh, okay. Well, Voodoo is awesome. It's unparalleled.
And I've got an old version of TiVo. The newer ones are even better. But
yes.
Mine is definitely slow and antiquated. But I've got my money's worth out of it.
Yes, you have.
I've used those receivers for, since 2000, 9 years.
Yep. And you were talking about, an antenna for local channels for sports. If you're using Hulu or whatever other kind of service on the internet, it may not be a DVR, but you're not watching it live, so you can pause and pick up anytime you want.
Right.
And at 45 minutes, so what if you have to sit through 3 minutes of commercials? It's different than an hour.
Right.
But if you're watching it live over the HD antenna, then you're kind of stuck watching the commercial. Or you got to use the bathroom, or if you can't watch it when it comes on, I'm too spoiled on the DVR. I really am. That would be. I'm not going to say I couldn't do without it. I would not be as interested in watching TV if I didn't have it.
I'm right there with you. That's going to be. I'm going to be in culture shock when I get rid of my TiVo.
Yes,
I really will. I won't know.
Where are you going to? Are you moving away?
Well, I may not go away from TiVo. I'm going to get rid of DirecTV.
Okay.
And go strictly with Time Warner.
Okay.
Because I got Time Warner now, strictly for my internet. Okay. I can also get cable through that same line, even though they're supposed to block it. They haven't. I could get the TiVo cable receiver. It wouldn't be high def, like you said, and all that kind of stuff.
They do have a high def one. It costs a lot more.
They do. Yeah. But you have to have the cable box to take advantage of it. You can't just plug your cable from the wall straight into it, I don't think. You can?
You can. They have a cable. There's 2 slots for the cable cards. So you would still have to pay. A cable card is $160 a month,
but do I have to subscribe to Time Warner for the cable at that point? That's what I'm saying.
Yes. You would have to get the card from them. So yes, you would have to have the service.
That's my point.
Yes, you would. So there's kind of no way around that one. But yes, the way the TiVo box is, it has 2 card slots, and you can put 1. Obviously, you would want to do 2, so you could record 2 at the same time.
Right.
For
dual tuner is mine's been doing that for 9 years. So that was way ahead of its time, and I use that all the time.
Exactly. We love technology here at Incoherent Ramblings.
Yes. We
could incoherently ramble about it the entire hour.
Yeah, I could talk about TiVo for days.
Days, yes. So basically what we're saying is we don't have anything for the show tonight.
I know we were talking about a format change last week, about having good stories.
Yes.
I have one. So we really talk about it a lot, drag it out long, or we just...
I have...
And this is how long my one good story is.
Okay. I have
4 lines.
I have 4 good stories. One isn't really as good as it initially sounded. And then 2 of them.
Well, I got maybe 2 good. I guess you can count one as another was a good story.
But we also have some funny stories.
Yes.
And I have a story that I'm saving.
I have to say none funnier than Chris's final story.
I don't
hang around to the end because it's definitely Chris definitely appreciates it.
If you know me,
and we do have to have a theme going with it this week.
Yes,
we have. I had one in a roundabout way,
right?
Very related.
Yeah, exactly. And you know we do not. You know, some people may think this is that we should, but we do not really confer with each other.
Well, as well-oiled a machine as we run here, people think we probably spend hours and weeks putting this one show together, and that we're conferring back and forth, saying, let's go with this theme this week, because we usually play off each other and have a theme going.
Right.
But it's dumb luck.
It's simply not true.
No.
I don't know how we, you know, it's either 60-year-old grandmothers that are drunk drivers, or there's monkeys, or animals, or criminal weirdness. There's always some sort of bodily functions. Yes. Bodily functions, who knows? There's always underlying things.
Yes.
And it's not. I'm not saying we never confer. It's just not. We don't get on the phone
Different methods of mobility.
Exactly.
Hover around.
Hover around. In fact, I think I saw a hover around today.
Hey, Bernice and Joy, tell everyone which power wheelchair got you to the Grand Canyon.
Hover around.
There we go.
There you go.
Bernice and Joy.
Yes.
I mean, you know, there are many different ways you could get to the Grand Canyon.
Our mobility experts.
Yes. Bernice and Joy. Absolutely.
There's hover around, or you can get around with, what was that one story you had not too long ago?
A riding lawnmower with a bar stool.
Yeah, riding lawnmower with a bar stool.
No, I think that might be a little bit more. I think he did. Wasn't it like 30 miles an hour he was achieving?
Yes.
That might not be so safe for Bernice and Joy at the Grand Canyon.
That is correct.
Unless they have David Copperfield with them, I don't think that would be safe.
Or with that story from last week with the woman who kind of got away from her, where
where she
malfunctioned and
8 miles an hour, 5 miles.
5 miles away. If she was going 30 miles an hour, hell, she'd be in Tennessee.
And she said they asked her how the storm was. She said, "Oh no, it's flat."
Wherever she was, it must have been a really straight road.
Right. I mean, no curbs, no obstacles.
Or she can sleep and drive and nobody knows.
It's
a hidden talent.
Yeah.
Of course, when you get 80, you've done it all. You just do it by instinct.
I'm gonna tell you what. The last time that I laughed that much to where my jaws were sore was when I saw Carrot Top. That's the last time. Seriously, I mean, last week, you know, one of our listeners keeps like requesting a live video feed, which Eric and I are not really keen on doing.
But I have a face for radio.
And I think I would instantly be nervous. If I were in front of people, I'm not nervous. Right. But if it was like, you know, I knew that someone could be peering in and I couldn't see them, I don't think I would like that.
Plus, I'd have to wear pants.
I mean, right now, Eric and I are in our bathroom. Well, actually, Eric's is a leisure room. Whether or not he has anything underneath, I do not know.
Something mesh.
Yeah, mesh. But last week, if someone could have seen into the studio, here, we do offer tours because it's internationally famous.
Yes.
It's a big hit in Dubai. But I mean, people, if you could have seen it here last week, I was in pain. I was trying to keep from laughing out loud so as to not drown out Eric, but my sides were cramping, my jaws were cramping, and if you didn't find that story funny, I'm not going to say something's wrong with you, but maybe you should listen to it again, because that was hilarious. I mean, it was absolutely, it's the funniest thing I've heard in years. It was crazy. So, I don't know if we'll ever reach that again.
I don't know, maybe at the end of the show.
I don't know, because only people with my sense of humor will really appreciate the story. It is a funny story.
Yes, it is.
It's disturbing, but funny. So, let's see here. I'm
curious, is that one of your good stories? The one at
we find any morbid subject to be funny. Apparently, no. I mean, good. I don't know. No, this was a bait and switch story. When I first saw the headline, it says passenger lands plane after pilot dies. Mm-hmm. I immediately thought like the dude, the pilot that pulled all the people out of the Hudson, he was the hero. Right. I thought there's 200 people on a plane that's getting ready to crash. Some jack in a box just goes in there and says, "Hey, I'm going to fly this plane to safety," and landed it and saved all these people. And that's not what happened.
What happened, Chris?
It was a small plane, a twin-engine plane with like 4 people on it.
Well, still.
And the guy who flew it to the ground is a retired pilot. Oh. So it kind of lost his. I mean, good for him. And okay, so basically what happened? The pilot who was flying died.
Well, that's not good.
No, that's not good. That's not good. And then this guy who was a retired pilot said, "Hey, I'm a retired pilot. I'm pretty sure I can handle this." He gets up there. The what do you call the air traffic controller calls a buddy of his and says, "Pilot's dead. Retired pilot isn't familiar with this. This plane is newer than he's familiar with. Can you help?" And then he got him on the phone with this guy who's very familiar with this plane, and together they were able to land the plane safely. So, I mean, it's a good story in the sense that he was able to do that, and he saved the rest of the lives. Because if he had not done that,
if he hadn't spoken and said, "Look, I drive a hover around. I think I can handle this."
I can drive a hover around for 5 miles.
Eyes closed.
Asleep, and without causing any kind of damage.
That's right.
So basically, it wasn't the heroic story I was looking for, to be honest with you.
I think it's still, at least, thank God, there was a pilot on the plane when it happened.
Exactly.
So I mean that's good.
I mean,
and just because he had the skills doesn't make any less a hero.
No, I'm not besmirching his what he did.
Not as dramatic.
Exactly.
Story,
basically, he was able to fly the plane with someone else's help. He saved the people more, because if not, the autopilot would have went. I mean, the autopilot would have went off eventually. It would have ran out of gas. It would have crashed. Right. So he is a hero in that sense, and I'm sure the other passengers are very much so appreciative of he was on board
as a hero.
Exactly.
He'd be my hero if I was on that plane.
He would be my hero as well. So, do you have something maybe that doesn't include someone dying?
Yes, actually, and it's a good story.
Okay.
I can find it. It's a very small 3-line story. Lost in all.
Not much good going on out there.
This one has to do with Facebook, which, by the way, we are on.
We
If you ever want to listen to any of our archived episodes, you can.
Go to Facebook. Friend us.
Commercial free.
Commercial free. Well, there's a little commercial at the beginning and end, but yes, commercial free.
Nearly commercial free.
Nearly commercial free. But go friend us on Facebook, please.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you want that information, go to our Blog Talk Radio site where you can see the Facebook information, friend us, and then yes. Well, here's a Facebook story. It's a good story.
Yes, there's a Facebook. The title of the story is Facebook User Donates Suits to Man. But it's deeper than that.
Okay.
This woman's on Facebook, one of her friends from Facebook. They're talking, chatting back and forth, and he had been unemployed, finally lands a job, finds out, and this is a job that he could work from home. So he was all excited, that he could, because he didn't have a lot of dress clothes and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Then it turned out that he had to do presentations at the office, and he had to have suits to do that. So now he's all upset because he doesn't have any suits or dress clothes or dress pants or whatever.
Right.
And like us, he's used to working in his robe.
Right.
Bathrobe.
Right.
So this woman on Facebook hears about his plight, and she sent out a message to all her friends on Facebook. And very shortly afterwards, he ended up getting several suits. He got several dress shirts. He got prepaid gift cards for alterations. He got gift certificates for dry cleaning. I mean, he just had a whole closet full of clothes.
Excellent.
From one person just looking out for another.
Wow.
So,
a sense of community, looking out for our fellow mankind.
Yep.
That's always a heartwarming story.
If people are out there looking to help us, they just knew.
If you just reach out and ask for it. Yep. Sometimes you just have to ask.
Yep.
Sometimes it takes some input on our part.
Right.
The classic joke where the young lady has been praying for a year for God to let her win the lottery. And, finally the clouds roll open and he says, "Buy a ticket." So sometimes we have to do so. So this guy, he asked for help, and you'd be amazed.
Or at least made known his situation.
He made the situation known. And exactly, people are out there wanting and willing to help. They want to.
And this woman, she didn't have any suits to give them.
No.
But how hard was it for her to just send out a quick email to all of her friends on
Exactly.
Facebook?
And then all of a sudden, people are just pitching in left and right. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, here's a story. Sorry, I had a big yawn at an inopportune time. Here's a story about someone who
Did my story do that to you?
No, talking about giving things away.
That's what.
Jack Wendoff, he's the CEO of Bollinger Insurance. Okay, now
this is an older story. This is what I skipped from last week.
But I was impressed by this.
Yes.
Okay. He is the CEO of an insurance company. He has 434 employees. He gave each of them a $1,000 bonus out of his own personal pocket, out of his own personal money. Not from the companies. This was from money that he received fairly when he sold 51% of the company last year. And he took that $500,000 and he gave $434,000 back to his employees.
Yeah.
That is a cool story.
That really is.
Can you imagine the instant credibility and respect that he has with his employees?
I want to work for him.
Exactly. You know, some people will be like, well, $1,000 isn't much. Well, today, with the economy like it is, you're not going to turn in $1,000. But it wasn't $1,000. It was $434,000.
Right, exactly.
That's what he gave out of his own personal money. And, you know, CEOs have had a rough time lately. You got Lehman, AIG, Merrill Lynch, all these people shelling out, you know, millions at the people at top, and the companies are going in the toilet. Here's a guy who says, you know what, I want to make a difference in my employees' life, and I'm going to show that, you know, I'm going to set an example.
Right.
And that's what he did. And at the end of the story, it says maybe other CEOs should take note. So,
well, you don't have to be a CEO to give away money. You don't have to give away $500,000.
No, you don't.
You know? But
you can give $10 to somebody.
Exactly.
If you don't feel comfortable giving somebody money, if you know that they're in need, find out something they need and supply that for them. Mm-hmm. Maybe their power is getting ready to get cut off. Go pay their power bill. If you know they're hungry, you know, buy them a meal, take them grocery shopping, whatever. So, I mean, there are many different ways that we can step out and help people who are in need, legitimately in need.
So, kind of local. I don't even have this one written down. I'll just recite it from my memory. But you know, Liz White.
Uh-huh.
She is a
famous author,
a
friend of the show,
a friend of the show, and I mean, she's like my North Carolina mom. She was my neighbor when I first moved here, and she's a very, very good person. And she has
multiple DUIs. No, I'm
sorry.
Sorry.
No, she hasn't been caught for that. No, she, her daughter has a friend whose husband is a pilot, and she and this pilot built their dream house a few years back, mm-hmm. and apparently it passed all the inspections, and you know, a short time later they started having a leak around the chimney. Mm-hmm. Well, they couldn't get the builder out there to fix it. The leak went on. The water that penetrated turned into mold. Mm-hmm. It became toxic mold.
Oh, my goodness.
Her husband, of course, travels all the time. Being a pilot, mm-hmm. wasn't affected so much. But whenever he came home, he found that he was starting to feel ill. She has some medical issues. I don't want to say it wrong, but I want to say MS or something like that. Mm-hmm. But they something serious. But it kept getting worse and worse and worse. Different issues like asthma and all this other kind of stuff unrelated, but she was starting to feel worse and worse and worse because she's in this constantly. It's out constantly. Doctors finally traced the problems back to the mold, and they were forced to leave the house and not take anything with them. They had to leave every belonging. This is local. This happened here over in Oak Ridge. Mm-hmm. Had to leave everything they owned in the house. Clothing, furniture, plates, everything was left there.
Wow.
The bank won't work with them, so they're facing foreclosure, or they may have already been foreclosed upon. Mm-hmm. living in an apartment. So now all this money they put into their dream house is gone.
Mm-hmm. The house is gone.
The house is gone. I guess they did go to court with the builder, but didn't win. Homeowners insurance doesn't cover mold. So they were in a tight spot. But Liz, through her other daughter, was able to procure, I don't know if it's free furniture, or I think she got her a bunch of free furniture, and then got it delivered at a great discount. After that person heard the story. She's written the editor of the newspaper because the story was written in the newspaper about it, but it, of course it had their names plastered all over, but didn't mention who the builder was.
Right.
Who was, I think, partly at fault from the one side of the story that I've heard.
Right.
But here's Liz doing, it's just like you said, make the situation known, and she's doing what she can to draw attention to the issue and help these folks out. So
maybe not get everything resolved that it should be to make it right, but still, action is being taken.
Right. So, anyway, I had one other. This is not really necessarily a good story, but maybe a silver lining, as it were.
Okay.
Here we are, not in the greatest of times. Gas prices were high last year, or whatever. But as a result, highway deaths were at the lowest level since 1961 last year.
Excellent.
An economic downturn can have its positive sides too. U.S. highway deaths in 2008 fell to the lowest level since John F. Kennedy was president. The recession and $4 gas meant people drove less and saved more. Experts also cited record high seatbelt use, tighter enforcement of drunk driving laws, which we had a story last week where a woman was caught, 3 times in 3 days?
I think so.
For drunk driving?
Yes.
Anyway, I thought that was more like a silver lining type story.
So. Well, it's not just the economy. Everything's cyclical. The weather's cyclical. Al Gore's moron. The economy is cyclical. Everything is cyclical. You look through the history, everything since it's been recorded, and it's been cyclical. So that was a point over time. Gas was high, less people on the road, and it's not just less deaths, but you read a lot of good things that were as the outcome of that. So that's excellent. Yeah. Seatbelt usage is up. You use your seatbelt when you're in the car with me now.
You know why? In my car too.
Because it beeps at you incessantly until you're about ready to pull out your hair.
Absolutely. My car does the same thing. I hate it with a passion, but I wear it.
If you get pulled over now, you don't get a $50 fine.
That's correct. So, but my theory on that before was, I don't know how many times, not that I condone speeding or speed that often, but I have been pulled over in the past for exceeding the speed limit.
Yes. A few times,
once or twice, and I was given a pass and given on the speeding, but given a ticket for not wearing my seatbelt. So it was almost like encouraging me not to wear my seatbelt. It was like a reward for not wearing my seatbelt. We won't give you a ticket that gives you points in your license.
Well, we'll still
give you
$50.
At the time it was $25.
$25, yeah. And either way, it makes the quota.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I don't want to be too mean, but the French have finally done something. If we have any French listeners, I don't mean that derogatory. We're playing off the stereotype here. I mean, come on, look through the history.
It's horrible. You say that, and I thought it too. But when the story first broke, and there is not an isolated incident about pirates. I'm thinking when it first happened, I'm thinking, and it's incessantly happening over and over in that area. I'm thinking, because they know their friends won't do any damn thing.
Right. Exactly.
If you're going to pick a place to do it, that'd be ideal.
Exactly. So the French have finally done something, and I'm not going to go into details, but obviously, if you've seen the news, I don't watch the news, but you can't get away from the pirates. The pirates in Somalia are out of control. I don't think they should. I mean, I'm a tyrant by nature. I don't think we should be having a problem with pirates. I think we have warships in the area, F-16s, just blow them up.
Well, the problem is they take hostages.
Well, blow them up before they take the hostage. We know who they are.
Right.
To drop a bomb
before
on
they get the ship there.
Exactly. Or the ship has a couple AR-15s on it. They just open fire and sink the pirate. I mean, they're in little John boats.
Right.
These little teeny weeny boats, like that people come in over from Haiti and whatnot.
Right.
I don't have any patience for it. It's just like the Ted Nugent clip that we listened to this week. I mean, why? My mom says all the time, the criminals in this country are given the upper hand, and they're given the benefit of the doubt, and they are favored, and it's true. Why are we even discussing pirates?
Right.
Just blow them up.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not really a difficult thing, but France has finally done something. They came in and they seized 11 pirates. There's been some people saved. Some hostages were saved. Unfortunately, a hostage was killed. Pirates were killed. I'm not really hearing about that, but a hostage was lost. But we have freed a bunch of hostages, and we've also seized some pirates. So
right.
good for France.
We should play that Ted Nugent thing.
We should. I do not have it ready right now. But you know what? When we have our next gun roundtable,
yes,
we will play the Ted Nugent clip. Because I mean, it's common sense.
Yes.
And you can't argue. If you argue with it, then you aren't capable of even having a conversation.
I don't like repeat offenders.
Right.
I like dead offenders.
Absolutely. That
quote unquote.
Exactly. I want that on a bumper sticker or a T-shirt or something.
Right.
And here's what I don't get. You know, you're going to have a hard time finding someone saying, "Yeah, rape is great," or child molestation is great, or let's murder old people. No, right. Common people are okay with that, but there is a certain sect of our society who had rather see these people go unpunished and let out of jail because they're rehabilitated or get a slap on the wrist than to see a law-abiding citizen protect themselves and shoot a person like that.
Like that Jack in the Box that here in North Carolina. Was it North Carolina?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Carthage. Who shot and killed I don't know how many elderly people at that old folks home. Wasn't it
like
9 or
like
10?
80 to 95 years old or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally defenseless, bedridden, elderly people.
Yep.
Shot and killed by this, and he is going to some mental institution right now.
Exactly.
He'll probably get out in 10 years.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know.
But here's you cannot, if you have a carry concealed permit, you could not have it at that nursing home.
What?
I don't remember why, because in the class we took it was not addressed.
I don't think nursing homes were.
But the guy who is the president of Grassroots, they were interviewing him, and he said that if someone had been allowed to carry concealed there, and if they had been there, they could have stopped this. If he would have said that, if it were a possibility. So for whatever reason, maybe because it's like a hospital, or you know what I mean. Anyhow, yeah.
I know it's where people gather, but that's not really a gathering place. That's a residence.
Right.
How about the people who live there? Are they allowed to have it as their house?
I don't know. Well, some of them may not be, unfortunately, in the right frame of mind where they could. But
right.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on the laws there. Nonetheless, that person, you and I have different. We do agree that capital punishment can be deployed, but we have different methods on how to get there. However, I think we both agree that person should be killed.
And also, what about the guy who, talking about heroes,
mm-hmm.
Gentleman was shot
mm-hmm.
outside the place.
Right.
Calls 911, gets the police there quicker, doesn't leave for his own safety. He goes in to try and give the police more information on where the guy is and what's going on.
Right.
He's shot.
Right.
And goes into the building
right.
where the shooter is.
Right.
After having been shot, shot in the arm.
Right.
Or in the shoulder.
Yes.
That's heroic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the policeman that went in there.
Yes. Was heroic.
I think he got shot, too. And he had died.
He did get shot. And the guy who was committing this awful crime was mad at his wife.
He's trying to blame it on medicine that he was taking or some crap like that.
Yeah.
But
and I will go on record to say this, and I would say this in any public forum. Any attorney that would take that case, I instantly have zero respect for. Because I don't believe in trial by jury. For that, I don't. If the liberals can defame our Constitution, well, then I can too. I do not believe in trial by jury. This guy does not deserve to be represented. He deserves to be hung from a tree.
He deserves a representation, but
if he deserves representation, I still have zero respect for any lawyer that would take that case.
I don't know.
He killed a bunch of people. What is there to represent other than what day he's going to get hung?
You got to stand up for the system, but I mean,
well,
doesn't mean
our system's broke.
broke. I mean, you give the guy his trial, and I think any sane jury's going to find him guilty beyond all reasonable doubt, and
I doubt that.
Hopefully he gets.
Unfortunately, people that are guilty get off the hook every day.
Yeah, well,
that's my problem.
We don't have a perfect system.
No.
There's no such thing when
Yeah, no, it's not. But this guy,
I think we got a pretty good system.
we know this guy is guilty.
Yes.
So, okay, here's my question, and we're going way off.
You know I don't believe in death penalty, but if I ever did, this is the case that I think that would warrant it, because the guy's caught red-handed.
Right.
The crime is unspeakable, and I think warrants capital punishment.
Your issue with capital punishment is the fear of someone who is innocent being put to death.
It's twofold. That's one of my fears. Like we just established, the system is imperfect.
Right.
Not only do guilty people get off, innocent people get convicted.
Right.
And if innocent people get convicted, and we've had so many cases of people getting released from death row because of DNA evidence years later. Okay. So obviously the system's not perfect, and I think that death is permanent. So you take somebody's life, there's no taking that back. That's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is it costs more to kill somebody than it does to keep them in jail for life because of all the mandatory appeals.
My maternal grandmother said, "How much does rope cost?"
I know.
She asked me how much. She said, "I haven't been to the hardware store in a while, but how much does rope cost?" And so they say it costs $1 million to put someone to death. Then, like I said, the system's broke because it should cost whatever rope costs, and it doesn't cost. 100 years ago, they hung them from rope. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother, and her oldest sister took her and Aunt Ruby and Aunt Kate. The four of them went down to town square to see old man such and such get hung because he got caught raping like a 13-year-old girl.
Well, personally, I also think that, and maybe it's just, first of all, I don't think that a lot of the crimes, capital crimes that are committed would have been prevented if capital punishment was, they are going to not do something because they have fear of getting killed themselves. Okay, I personally
they won't do it again.
They won't do it again. That's true. We won't have any repeat offenders. We have dead offenders.
Exactly.
But I personally think it would be more hellish to that person to be in jail for life if it wasn't a cushy jail.
Right.
If it was hard labor,
or just confinement. Yeah. Even if they don't have labor.
Yeah. I mean, make it hell on them while they're in jail, and make it as miserable as you can for life.
Right.
I think that's worse than death.
Oh, I agree. See, and the death isn't the punishment, though. It's not punishment. It's because you're right. It's too easy. It's not punishment. What it is closure for the victims.
Right.
And some people will say it doesn't give them closure, but it still is closure, whether it's right closure or not. And the Bible fully supports capital punishment. That's why
I understand.
No, not even eye for eye. I mean, it's just it's supported. But regardless if we agree with it or not, here's the problem. Here's my issue with the system. Okay, give the person his day in court, give him his defense. But why do mandatory appeals exist for people like this? Okay, he is absolutely guilty.
Because you can't make rules for one particular situation, and you got to have the mandatory appeals because the system's imperfect.
What's to appeal? He is absolutely, undeniably guilty.
Right.
So there shouldn't even be a trial if he's already guilty.
I was thinking about this the other day. I never even told you about this, but maybe I'd be for capital punishment if the person was convicted from non-circumstantial evidence, caught red-handed like this guy was, in a crime that's unspeakable, and warrant of it. Then I think yes, in those type of situations,
because he goes to the mental institution, he gets out in 10 years. What's to stop him from doing this again?
Right.
Absolutely nothing. Right. No, he may never do it again.
But these people that are convicted to death based on circumstantial evidence, it gives me pause.
Right. I can understand that. Well, the death penalty gives me pause, period. I mean, I agree with you there. It's kind of like war. War is a horrible thing. I don't like fighting, but if someone's going to try to beat me up, I'm going to defend myself, So it's a very unpleasant thing, and I respect the reasons, why you have pause on it, and you respect the reasons why I'm for it. People are allowed to have their...
And believe me, there's times, and that's a good example, where I'm definitely for it.
Right. Right. Well, it's unfortunate. Situations like that are unfortunate, and it happened here in North Carolina, and naturally our liberal counterparts immediately start jumping up and down saying we should outlaw guns, which is absolutely insane. Like my mom said, you know, did Cain and Abel have guns? And, you know, the first murder recorded in the Bible. There's no. It's not the instrument used; it's the person using it. And
exactly.
That's where, I mean, we don't need more laws. We need to enforce the ones we have. So it's unfortunate. So, well, let's get off that.
Exactly.
Let's talk about something funny.
Well, that's what I was just thinking. I'm not even sure. Should we take time for my story to lead into yours?
Yes.
So they do go together?
Your story should.
But I want to make sure we leave time for yours.
Yes, because I'm going to read mine.
You got time?
Yeah, it's not that long.
Okay. Well, mine's not. I'll just shorten mine.
Let's see here. Mine's not that long, and I do have one last story that's a hero of the day.
Okay.
This is the hero of the day.
Okay.
Royal Marine from the British Army. Not British Army, from the British Marines. Anyhow, from the British Armed Services. He has saved a man's life, an Iraqi person's life. Basically, I'll shorten this. His Royal Marine Corporal Gregory Llewellyn. They were training. He was part of a coalition naval advisory and training team, training Iraqi Marines. I have pause with that, but that's a separate story. Anyhow, they were there helping these people, training them. The guy falls off of the boat and crushes his leg. Something heavy falls in him, some pipes. Fall on him, crushes his leg. He falls into the water. And this guy immediately, without even thinking, just jumps in. 40 feet above him, jumps into water that's rough, hazardous water, that also he's not very sure about what could be under this water because of all the stuff from the boat sticking out and whatnot. It was very dangerous for him to jump from 40 feet high. He jumps in, gets the man, puts him up on a pipe that's floating in the water. While he's swimming and keeping himself afloat, shouts up instructions for things to be thrown down to him, some gauze, some this, some that, and commences to do things to his leg by putting, I don't know exactly because I'm not medical, but doing as much as he could while he was swimming in very rough water to save this man's leg. So they finally get the man, they pick him up in the crane bucket, they put him in a helicopter takes him to one of America's Navy ships, and they long story short, unfortunately, had to end up amputating the leg. But here's a guy, because of his training, didn't even think. Right. He just jumped 40 feet in the air, jumped into the water. He just jumped in and was like working on this man's leg while swimming. That's impressive. That is impressive. And it is heroic for a person he doesn't even know. He doesn't know this guy. Can't even speak the same language. And so, the Royal Navy captain, Richard Ingram, said, "I am extremely proud of Corporal Llewellyn. He demonstrated exactly the type of instinctive action that highlights the quality of our Royal Marines. His quick thinking, professionalism, and selfless decision undoubtedly saved the life of an injured man. Llewellyn's actions in disregard of his personal safety to provide life-saving medical care to an Iraqi civilian were in the finest tradition of the Royal Marines. His clear thinking and selfless bravery have probably saved the man's life." So that's our hero of the week.
Well, I guess there were like poles floating in the water?
Yeah, it was rough water in the first place. And there's like pipes and stuff. And
I don't think pipes float. It must have been like a wooden pole.
It was, there were, I think it was like some PVC pipes or something, but they were large and heavy. Yeah, I mean, but still impressive nonetheless. To save a man he didn't even know.
Well, let's get to our dung-related stories.
Yes. if here's the point: if you've ever watched some British TV shows and you find bathroom humor funny, then you are going to enjoy these two stories right here.
All right, this one's about a businessman who was burglared after being banned from using his giant catapult. Okay. An eccentric businessman who set up a 30-foot dung-firing catapult on his land to deter intruders has been burglared after police warned him that it was illegal for him to use the weapon.
It's a weapon.
It's a weapon. Joe Weston Webb, a former traveling showman who owns a human cannon and an exploding coffin, decided to adopt such an unorthodox method of protecting his property last year after a series of break-ins and arson attacks. The catapult, based on the design of a Roman boulder-throwing ballista, was originally built for a series of unsuccessful attempts to fire his wife Mary across a river.
Into the casket?
He actually apparently got it to work well enough that it threw her across the river, but the net bounced her back into the river.
Okay.
So they finally gave up on that whole idea.
Right.
After that didn't work out, he settled for a more mundane career as after designing some sort of click-together wooden flooring, which earned him some contracts with some local businesses. But after a series of attacks by vandals on his company, he restored the rusty catapult and equipped it to fire bags of chicken droppings at intruders if an alarm was triggered. I need one of these in my house.
And why? I'm sorry. Story. I need to know why he's not allowed to do this.
Let me tell you, that's what I'm getting right now. His eccentric methods attracted media attention, as well as a warning from Nottinghamshire police that using the giant catapult would be illegal, as it did not constitute reasonable force.
So the people that are breaking into his business are that's not illegal?
That is illegal. So anyway, he stopped using it, and shortly after not using it, his workshop was burglared again. They stole cutting equipment and a plasma screen television and a laptop. So he estimates the combined bill for stolen property would amount to about $10,000. And anyway, his alarm did go off, and it would have set off the catapult, but it was not primed and ready to go because the police had warned him not to use it.
I think the police should have to reimburse him.
Indeed.
That's what I don't
I think if you have a dung throwing catapult, you should be able to use it
on your own property.
On your own property.
Defending against burglars.
Absolutely. Hassle doctrine.
This is exactly what we were talking about before. I don't understand. They are giving the burglars, the criminals, the advantage. Exactly. I don't understand that. Okay, well, you know what? That was in England, right? Mm-hmm. Well, here we have another story from England, London, England. And this is what we're talking about. This is not planned.
No.
Both stories from England.
Three stories from
England. But
three from British.
Yes. But here's two stories in a row, both from England, and both involving dung.
Yes.
Defecate, as it were.
Defecation.
Yes. And here's a story. I'm going to do my best to read this without laughing. Some of our listeners may not understand the humor here, and some people may actually defecate upon themselves while listening to it. I don't know. I want to read the story in its entirety. London, England. Man jailed for spraying urine and feces on food. I mean,
is that against the law? do they frown on that? Uh-oh. I've been doing something wrong. I'm sorry.
I mean, when you see a headline like that, that doesn't get your attention.
It got my attention, right? When you read it, I want to hear more.
Exactly. An unemployed chemist was jailed Tuesday for spraying a mix of urine and feces on food, wine, and children's books in several British stores. Sanoon Dafala, I guess, we'll just call him
British.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Was sentenced to 9 years in prison after being found guilty of 4 counts of contaminating goods. The 42-year-old carried a mix of his waste in a container of weed killer concealed in a laptop bag, the court found. Using the nozzle, which poked out of the bag, he was able to spray large areas, leaving a powerful stench and causing tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage. Dafala, an Algerian, targeted a bookstore in the South England town of Cirencester on May 14th, dousing hundreds of books, most of them in the children's section. Apparently he's against children's books. 2 days later, he struck in the nearby suburban area of Cledgley, where a customer spotted him squirting the frozen French fries at a supermarket.
Stay away from the fries. He hates the fries.
fries were seasoned. The follower then drove 4 miles to another supermarket, where an employee in the wine section noticed him acting suspiciously and reported an overpowering stench. Both supermarkets were closed for 2 days for cleaning. Shoppers reported suffering from rashes and nausea.
That's some powerful shit. I mean, that's
The stores involved declined to comment on the case. Police were able. I mean, we had to close down. Wow. Police were able to identify the fellow using security camera footage. When they raided his home, they found a stockpile of the substance and plans to spread it. Plastic bags containing excrement were marked with the names of cities on them. Maybe those were the cities meant to where he's going to carry out this plot. I'm assuming. He represented, and he, apparently not only is an unemployed chemist, and now on his way to jail, he also apparently is an attorney, because he represented himself at Bristol Crown Court, where he pleaded.
Always recommended.
Yes, where he pleaded not guilty. Judge Carol Hagan said Britain's security agencies had labeled him a high risk to public safety. Authorities have already begun deportation proceedings.
So there's laws in the books against us?
Apparently one cannot go around. You can apparently carry your own feces and urine with you. You just can't spray it on stuff.
You can even mail it, as we found out last week.
Yes,
Or
you
before
can.
that.
You can mail it to people.
You can mail it to people as long as it's sealed.
And doesn't create a stench.
Right. That's where he went wrong.
Exactly. There was a stench.
There was a stench.
But he sprayed it on the fries.
It's in the children's book. Fries, it doesn't bother me. The children's book, that bothered me.
I know. I thought it was kind of funny, actually. But, you just take, hey, look at these fries. They have Brunswick stew on them. I think Brunswick is in England. It doesn't matter. So just for one more time, his own urine, his own defecation,
mixed together.
Mixed together like a goulash.
A frothy mixture.
In a spray bottle, and he sprayed
piece of the corn.
A piece of corn. Yeah. That did not make it through the spray bottle.
No.
He was spraying on just food, books, wine, whatever. He just,
an excrement smoothie. With all different man juices, just all mixed together.
I have the cravings for some French fries, Eric. I don't know about you. And maybe some Brunswick.
I want to go to that wine tasting. Bold. It's a little dry, but takes a hit of urine. Male urine?
Huh. Okay, so I don't know. I found that amusing.
Yes.
I'm really not quite sure.
I wish I'd like to see that sale. At that grocery store after that.
Fries, 90% off. Seasoned to perfection.
Buy one fry, get one bottle of wine. Children's book.
So you can feed your kids a fries.
That's right.
And then while you're having your nightcap, you can read them a story.
That's right. It makes for a full evening.
Okay, we're just going to end it right there. Thanks for listening through this, and please tell your friends about it, and come back next week.
Yes.
This has been Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, and we would like to thank you for listening to our show today. Don't forget to tune in for next week's show, live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we are every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time.